Hey guys, how's it going? Hope you've been well. Taking the Tacoma out. I got a new tent up here from Top Oak, Topoac, I think Top Oak, probably is how it's pronounced. That I'll be testing out, going out with Sam over here. I don't even have a mic. Sam's car's so loud. Sam, you were like posing on there, modeling. Sam, he's almost 28 years old, double Porsche. Prior service, single, ready to mingle. He's got a Cayenne. So we've camped quite a bit together. You may know him. Kid's over there. Exposure's too high, but we're kind of running late. We're gonna do a little camping, a quick camp trip. I'm gonna get away from the Porsche exhaust a little bit. Little camp trip, a little bit of scouting. It's fall in Colorado, so Ashley wants to go camp, find some colors. So I'm actually gonna go out. I'm gonna go out, check out a couple trails that I think have pretty good Aspen coverage. I should know more of good Aspen trails than I do, but I'm out of it. You guys know I've been out of it for a bit. But anyway, we're going camping. Want to do a quick intro before we head it out. I'll probably set up some tripod and do some stuff. Sam's another creative, so he doesn't mind stopping a bunch, so we'll get some trail stuff. Okay, it's way later. We were out filming some stuff. Actually, if I remember, and Sam has it in time, Sam is a true creator. Let me get in the light. Sam's a true creator who makes cool stuff. So we were filming some stuff with his Cayenne, and if it's available, I'll splice it in right now, a little like preview of it. And if you want more of that, go follow Sam's YouTube channel or Instagram, which is Samoffgrid on Instagram. I'll put it here. And then is YouTube Samoffgrid too? Samoffgrid as well, which I'll link up here. So here, watch. Okay, that was cool, huh? Now we're back to this jank. So we got the Pelican case, which is the table off the side of the truck. It's dark. I don't have my roof rack lights wired up yet to give some camp light. We got this little GSI stove. I got a little kettle over here. This is plumbed into the propane tank I have on the side. I got this little clip light above here. And it's pretty cool. It's a pretty cool setup. I just threw everything into the Vertex RLT shoved the duffel to include a big old Pelican water bottle. So we kind of figured we'd be out having fun and not really want to cook. It's pretty cold too, not winter cold. So I just grabbed a couple peaks at home. And so we're gonna boil some water for 2 of those. And I have never used this stove. I haven't even tested it to see if it works. So hopefully we're not in for a surprise here. All right, my bad. Forgot to turn the propane tank on. Okay, that igniter's not working. Let's try this one. It is making a little spark. Okay, guess I gotta grab a lighter. All right, got a headlamp on now. So, camping bin, this is the case, table, action. I do like this stove. It's unfortunate the igniter doesn't work. This is that little clip light up there. I do have this 270 awning that I'm not going to deploy right now. A couple of camp chairs, and then I just have this little 10-pound propane tank that I don't even know how full it is. So I brought a Howl, and we'll just rock that probably until the tank's empty. Oh, there we go. So we do got, what do we got? Barbecue.
American buffalo barbecue mac and cheese.
Ooh, yummy. It's just a wedge tent, so I'll just pop that up real quick. And it's dark, so you won't see that. And Samuel, what you got? You sleeping in the back?
Welcome to my crib.
This MTV Cribs.
MTV Cribs. Yeah, so the nice thing about the Cayenne is all the seats lay down flat.
Yeah, nice little flat.
For a 5-foot man.
Yeah, Sam's, what are you, 6'2"?
I'm not, yeah, 6'3". I'm
6'3". Oh, 6'3". Okay, buddy.
And then little heated blanket, little USB-A heated blanket.
Okay, nice. That'll be comfy.
Yeah, nice and comfy.
It sucks you can't stretch out, though. I have a hard time sleeping when I can't just extend them legs.
I prefer the fetal position anyway.
Oh, yeah? Okay. Well, it's, Sam likes Little Spoon.
Yep.
If you're wondering. No. Okay, so we got water going. This is just a generic kettle. I have so many kettles. Okay, I'm gonna let this boil up. Maybe get the Howl out. Get a little more of camp set up. All right, I know people like watching cooking because you guys are weird. I don't know why you want to watch another man cook, but I'm cooking water. We're boiling. So shut this baby down. Get a little pour shot. Forgot my long spoons. You want me to pour? You want me to do the pour?
Please.
Looks about right. Here you go. It's not the best. It's not the best look. Let's see. Here we go. About that. Yeah, it's okay. So I usually make wood fires, and I know what to bring for a wood fire. I brought the Howl, and I brought propane, but I did not bring the hose for the Howl to connect to the propane And it uses kind of, not proprietary, but not what I have, which is a little quick disconnect. I have a couple hoses, but none with that. So, sorry Samuel, just sit in the cold, snuggle for warmth. But our food will warm us up a little bit. So anyway, you will have no 120 or 240 flame whipping B-roll with acoustic guitar music playing on this video, unfortunately. But I am gonna pop the tent now and get my bed ready, and maybe I'll show you that. All right, tent is set up. I actually really like this tent so far. I haven't slept in it yet, but I like a lot of features it has. So maybe I'll show you with a flashlight or something in a second. But Din Din's ready. And for connoisseurs of bagged meals, I usually have a spork. I'll link some down below that are long, a long-handled spork. So you don't have to messy your hand in the bag to scoop, right? But I don't know where mine are. I have too many stupid vehicles, so I have like sporks in all of them, but somehow not this one. A little hack you can do, just cut it down. And then you just got a little bowl in here, right? So now the spoon will reach no problem. So this is what you do. Pro tips from the bag meal connoisseur. Hey Steve. Okay, well we're just sitting here cold, jamming to some tunes. Oh, we got Mike and Ike's over there. Well, Mike and Ike. I do have a peach cobb. Could have some dessert maybe. I was talking about though how I've been a fatty lately. I've been kind of out of routine, haven't been working out as much and just eating. We were traveling out to Talon's wedding and eating on the road and gas stations and snacks, and Reese's did a collab with Oreo. I don't know if you guys heard about it or not, but I did, and I ate a lot of them. So I may skip on the cobbler, but I might not. Who knows? We'll see. All right. Well, it's the next morning now. We were just chatting all night, and I got tired. Never filmed again. That's how it goes sometimes. I was gonna show the tent, but it was dark, and I figured waiting till the next day would be better anyway. I opened up the skylight here, and here is outside, but the tent is pretty much blackout when all the windows are closed, which is nice. I enjoy a blackout tent usually because sometimes I'm staying up late when I'm camping, because I'm usually camping with friends and catching up and talking forever. And then I honestly usually don't sleep well when I'm camping. So kind of toss and turn a little bit throughout the night. So usually when the sun comes up, I'm just like, I don't want this. I just want to lay in bed for a while and try and take a nap or whatever. So I prefer the blackout. So anyway, this has this bar here that extends this part out a little bit. So this is the back of the wedge. This is the front of the wedge up there. It's got this storage thing here that I'm guessing could probably move from down there to up here is where it would make more sense if I was, you know, putting an iPad or something in there. I didn't use it last night, but it's got this USB for the LED light at the top. This whole thing is a window. It's got a diesel heater port over there. So two giant windows, really huge windows on each side, and it's got this rain fly. I'll show you more on the outside. So
you could really keep this window wide open and still have this rain fly overhanging and not really have to worry about it. Plenty of room here for one person, obviously. It's really a 2.5 person tent maybe. I believe it's like probably 52 inches or something wide. Yeah, so plenty of room for all my stuff. It's not an inflatable mattress or anything, and it's one of these memory foam type mattresses that does get pretty firm when it's cold. So it's pretty firm. It was cold. I see frost out here on the chairs and stuff, so I'm not sure exactly how cold it got, but pretty cold. And then I'll always just have, usually anyway, I'll just bring the duffel up when I'm by myself and have room for it. I'll usually just bring my duffel up in the bag or up in the tent with me. So I just have all my stuff that I need. Other than that, it's EDC stuff that I've pulled out of my pockets. And yeah, so that is the inside of the tent. Pretty nice. Got this kind of fabric-y material here. Again, the skylight. I do like the mattress. It seems a lot like the Colorado 4x4 mattresses. So maybe they're sourced from the same place or just similar. I'm not really sure. I'll show you the outside here in a sec. Oh, so I was using this bag. It's a Mammoth Recovery Series XL. It is a mummy bag, which I usually hate, and I like my feet having a little more room to spread out. But this is it's called -18, but that's Celsius. It's really a -1 Fahrenheit bag with, you know, it says extremes down to -40. So it was a pretty warm bag, but I didn't have a heated blanket or anything. Those that are new here. A lot of times in the winter, I'll bring a heated blanket, or, you know, I got diesel heaters out to wazoo. I got all the gear that kind of is cheating. But this time I was just like, I'll just bring a pretty cold weather bag. And I was not cold at all. And there's this thing, I don't know if you can relate, where I feel myself getting soft as I get older. So when I was packing up all of the conveniences and the heated blanket and everything, I was like, no, I'm just gonna rough it. Obviously I'm not roughing it. I'm just gonna rough it. And it was fine. But last night when it was cold and I was getting into a cold bed, I regretted it. I was like, I should have brought my heated blanket. So anyway, the heated blanket for me usually is you have good insulation, something like this. But even if you have the best insulation in the world, when you get into it initially, it's going to be cold. It's going to just equalize to the temperature, and your body heat needs to warm it up. So you get into bed, you're kind of cold, you're laying there cold, whatever. You throw a heated blanket in, you kick that on at the end of the night, you know, when you're about to brush your teeth or whatever, and you get into a warm sleeping bag or under a warm blanket. And that is as much of a game changer as you can get. When it's freezing cold and you're cold at the end of the night and the fire's out and you're brushing your teeth and you're shivering, you don't want to get into a freezing cold thing. So you get into a warm thing, and then you can shut the heated blanket off because everything's warm, you got insulation, and you can just ride that out for the rest of the night if you have, you know, warm enough stuff. Anyway, that's what I like to do. I didn't do it last night. This is actually the spot we camped last year during kind of the fall colors, and we came just a little bit late, but it was still just everything was bright yellow. Here right now we're a little early because there's a lot of green, some yellows, some reds, like some bright orange reds back in here. So it's definitely beautiful, but we're still a few days to a week, probably too early for like peak colors. Probably not many of you care about aspens, but it's kind of tough because once you get to here, you can see there's already leaves kind of falling off, even though we're at the very early season. So once they get here, leaves kind of start loosening up a bit. And if you have a big windstorm, then it's kind of like kills everything. But I'm trying to figure out the best time to bring Ashley and Fam out here so they can enjoy it in the peak. And I don't know if that's 1 week. It's probably 1 week, maybe 5 days. I'm not an aspen tree specialist. So this is another spot that I've never camped at, but I've seen, and it's kind of back in here, kind of tucked away in this little opening. And it's pretty nice, really. So we got Sam over there, still sleeping. There's our regular fire pit. Again, I don't think there are any fire bands right now. I have to look it up. But didn't do the howl. We did sit and hang. These are some Fantic outdoor chairs, which are pretty cool because they have this like hinge mechanism. So you can like lean back. So they're kind of a rocker chair type deal. I've been liking those. Howl, Pelican case, and then here it is. So this one here is the Galaxy Pro. They have a tent that's very similar called the Galaxy 2.0, where the main difference is really in the rainfly. So if you can tell, this rainfly kind of just comes out and covers the whole thing. So that little bar that pushes out already kind of acts somewhat as a rainfly, but then that kicks out even further, and then that rainfly there obviously protects that side window there. So I like that design. It does mean you got to set up for rainfly poles, which, you know, is not the end of the world, but I like such minimal setup that I don't even like any rainfly poles, honestly. But usually you got to do at least 2, oftentimes 4. And some tents like this, you'd have to do 2 off the back and then 2 off the side and 2 off the other side. So at least we shrink that down to only 1 over there. There's this whole extrusion along the side. So this awning, this 270 awning, is actually attached to the tent. So if I were to go take the tent off of this, the awning would come with it, which is cool. Now, for me specifically, this awning is just a little bit low how I have this box. So I can open and close the box, but it's certainly a little more effort than usual. But that will only affect very few people. They also have crossbars that you can put on because there's a top extrusion as well. And there's actually an extrusion along the side as well as along the top. So all kinds of modularity with this tent, which is pretty slick. Obviously a wedge tent, so really easy and fast to set up. Diesel heater ports, and I mean, just pretty nice in general. It's got this little part here, which is interesting because it is a Anderson plug here. So if you had a dual battery setup or something going on, you could basically run that plug into there, and then that powers this little thing. I don't have it plugged in, obviously, but it'll give you some USB inside, a USB CPD and a USB A, a cigarette lighter port, and then the on-off switch. So that means you could actually plug your USB cable into that and just kind of have everything run off of that power source. So if I were to do a dual battery setup, I'd run a little wire, like an accessory wire, up to that, and that'd be pretty slick. Otherwise, like I said, this whole thing is a window, so like almost the whole side of the tent can open up. This window here, the skylight's really nice. So things are lit up really nice in here. And yeah, first night in the tent, but really do like it. Ladder hooks into these little guys, and those are really on every side of the tent, so you can hook the ladder here or the other side. Cool. Well, I'm gonna take this boy down now. Samuel has awoken. Before I take down the tent, actually, so I had this in here. So what is the Blue Eddy Elite 100? So 62%. I had the Starlink plugged into this since last evening, and I kind of meant to turn this thing off, but I didn't. So Starlink's been running all night on that, and we're at 62 or 63%. I actually have this little Starlink mount. Maybe I'll talk a little bit more about it in the driveway breakdown. But let's get, now that Sam's up, let's get packed up. It does, it's memory foam, and it's like a pretty nice mattress. Yeah, they're like pretty nice. Like the fabric's kind of nice, the zippers are pretty good. The mattresses, if you... So I think it'll do a legitimately pretty good job of sucking all this stuff in. You always gotta kind of get back in here and work the sides in. But like I suspected, not much in there, which is always nice. But I did take the bedding out. But it seems like it's not a, that's it. This is not a tent review, so I'm not gonna get into every little detail on this thing. I will do a dedicated review as part of my 2025 rooftop tent showdown, but pretty slick. All right, so we're all packed up. Sam's been having an electrical battery parasitic dry issue, so his car started up, so we're good. We are probably, I've always come on this trail the other longer way, and there's kind of a quicker way out of here that I've never been, but I don't think it's cool looking. So I think we're just gonna beeline it out, and then I'll talk to you guys back in the driveway. All right, back at home now. It's a couple days later, and I was gonna take my family camping at that spot, but daughter June got sick and was sleeping horribly, and just wife didn't want to mess with it. So we didn't actually go out, but we went on a little day trip, did some hiking today, unrelated to anything in this video, but just may try and go next weekend. I don't know. So back home now, and like I do in a lot of Weekenderlanders, we'll do a little driveway breakdown, kind of report back what's been going on. The suspension's awesome. Still really loving this whole Icon CDEV stuff. However, there are no bump stops in the front, and I haven't trimmed out my fenders any higher or anything. So we were going pretty fast, and my wheels were going up into the fenders. And I noticed that both of my fenders are just blown out on both sides here. And then underneath, actually, these little clips are broken off. They kind of hold the fenders in, so they're just, yeah, completely screwed. So let me figure out, maybe other people, I'm sure other people have experienced this. If you're a 4th gen guy and you know kind of what to do, I'm guessing I'll just cut higher, put these clips, all these clips are, well, half of them are gone. Well, not half of them. The other sides are all gone. And these sides are all here still. So that'll just pop back in pretty easily. I just didn't pop them in because I wanted to show you what's been going on. In the rear, no fenders popping out. Tire does go up into there. Doesn't look like I broke any of the fenders off yet, though I do rub that little thing right there. That little nub's basically rubbed off. But other than that, things are good. I need to climb under. I heard a few kind of squeaks and whatnot, so I don't know if my skids are kind of squeaking down there or what, but need to dig in, check some stuff out. But everything else honestly has been good. Still really loving the 4th gen. Still big fan of the cat skins in here as well. They're holding up well. A lot more to do in the truck still. I need to wire, all the other lights are wired up, but not the roof lights. Now my buddy Micah made me some harnesses for all of that. So I just need to run those down and wire them into the Garmin power switch at some point. And what else we got? Basically, this is the Vertex Integrity Plus P, I believe, jacket. Really my favorite jacket when it's pretty cold out and compresses down to nothing. And I brought a couple things back in the house, but brought them back out here so you could see kind of how the duffel's loaded. This is usually on body, but when it's not on body, like when I take it up into my tent, I'll usually put it into the duffel. It's the Pelican, I believe it's the 64 ounce. Doesn't say on here, but insulated 64 ounce. And then just other stuff, you know, got some headlamps and toiletries and everything. This is the 50 liter RLD Vertex duffel. So probably my main used duffel these days, honestly. Pretty minimal. It's got some good pockets and layouts, but it's really just I use it to dump gear. I took one of the straps off, so I just have a single strap, so I use it like a backpack, throw it over my shoulder. And then it's not waterproof by any means, doesn't have waterproof zippers or anything, but it does have this flap that kind of covers it. So if I need to throw it just like on the bed cover or something like that, I can. I've thrown the 80 liter up on the roof of the Lexus for some trips, and it's gotten rained on, but not super heavy, and it seemed to keep the water out. But again, not a waterproof duffel by any means, but the material and kind of the design makes it shed water a little bit better. Anyway, kind of my go-to duffel currently. This I talked about earlier, running the Starlink onto the roof. That is, it's funny because none of this, all of this I believe is aluminum. None of it is magnetic. And then the roof itself is magnetic. So this guy, I'll put a link down below, has magnetic feet that just stays there, and I can swap this between vehicles pretty easily, which is nice. Actually used it on a road trip. Oh, you know, maybe I'll do a little more on that later, but used it on the Sequoia on a road trip. Popped the tent open just to air out a bit, and yeah, like I said, like really happy with this tent. Like I like the features, I like the interior, I like the blackout. I like how easy it is to set up. I only popped it though, so I didn't pop out the bar on the inside just because I'm wanting to air it out a little bit. So you can see there's the bar that pops it out, and then the ladder attachment over here. So yeah, the only issue I'm kind of needing to work out is this clearance here for the 270 awning. Unfortunately, I got a driver's side awning that I was hoping would clear the Pelican case, because this is the side I want the awning on, really, because when I drop this down, I can cook here under the awning opening, but it's just, I don't know, it's a little tight. If I could raise it up like an inch, that would be ideal. But yeah, that's been good. The whole Pelican vault has been good. Beyond that, I was using these fancy outdoor chairs I talked about earlier. They were all frosted over, so I didn't put them away because I needed to let these things air out. That's one of the things you got to know when you go camping is if you put away soft go or anything really wet, it'll, if it's, you know, metal, it'll start to corrode or rust if it's ferrous, and if it's fabric, then it can mold and mildew and junk. So you gotta make sure if it's wet when you put it away, open it up, air it out, get all that done. Everything else in here I think I talked about already. So good setup. Still need to take this actually wheeling since I got all the armor on. So yeah, get this fender situation sorted, track down a few squeaks, do a little bit more wiring, and then I actually need to do a dual battery setup. I have this Renogy like slim 100 amp hour or 104 amp hour or something, I forget, but a slim battery that I think I'm gonna put in the bed on the back so I can have a little dual battery setup, just because, again, the hybrid has no room anywhere. This truck is so, there's no room here, no room under the seats, no real room behind the seats with the JBL, no room under the seats with the hybrid. There's just no room in this truck. So anything I want to do like that's got to go behind it. There's no room under the hood either, man. This truck is just, again, I do genuinely really like this truck. It's just so small. I think about, I can't even put a rear-facing car seat here without needing to be like all the way forward. So I'd got asked this question quite a bit before I had kids. Like, oh, would you recommend the Tacoma for a family? I don't know. So this is where I sit in the front, and I sit kind of close, honestly. I'm 5'10". Actually, I feel like I have to say this. It's weird. Actually 5'10". Not one of those guys that's like 5'6" and say they're 5'10". And I don't sit that far back. Like, I sit pretty close to the steering wheel, honestly. And this is it. I'm crammed back here. And this would have been the same with the 3rd gen Tacoma or whatever, but I never really cared. But this amount of room, really, it depends on how old your kids are. If they're rear-facing car seat, good luck. If they're small, like booster seat size, I think, yeah. And then if they're full size, like I could sit back there, but if they're like bigger, it'd be tough. So Tacoma's tight. Stuff I never really considered for my first 8 years of owning a Tacoma, but now I think about more. And then, yeah, I think I said earlier, man, things are starting to cool down. It was cold camping. I got a flannel on, so you know winter is coming. It is flannel season. This is for those that don't know, maybe you're new here, or maybe you just haven't bought one yet. This is my flannel. This is the Last Line flannel. It's a flannel that I designed in collaboration with Vertex that you can get. Right now, there's a handful of different colors. Actually, you can just go to vertex.com/last-line. I'll put the link. Maybe I'll put it on screen. And use code LASTLINE, one word LASTLINE, for 15% or more. That's like a scaling coupon. Like, you can just always use it at vertex.com, and it'll always give you the highest discount there. So if they're running a promotion for some holiday and they're offering some other code that's 20% out, you can always use my code, and it'll always be the max discount available. But yeah, pick up a flannel for flannel season if you want. It's a good flannel. I've made dedicated videos on it. Oh, all right, guys. I think that's it. My arm's getting tired. I think I'm gonna try and make a video. Next time I do kind of just a walk and talk video, I think I'm just gonna shoot it on the iPhone and see how that goes with a mic. I did get the obnoxious orange one, so I'm like, I got this good camera. Some people complain, like, you know, when I'm walking like this, they're like, oh, I get seasick and I'm puking all over the house when I watch your videos, which, you know, I'm kind of making fun of, but also, I hear ya. So I could, like, you know, use like a stabilizer, a gimbal, and do it, but I'm just like, too much work. So I may try and shoot on my iPhone. I'll let you know about that in the future. I don't know what I'm talking about it now. All right, guys. Hit that thumbs up. Leave me a comment down below. As always, let me know what you'd like to see, and I'll try to do it. All right, guys. Well, until next time, take care.